All your yachty scallywags. Erica here. I'm back at it again. Now I've got an article that I've dragged out of the deepest depths of the archives. This was actually written about 10 years ago or more for a Caribbean-based publication. This is when I used to write under a pen name, and this person, my pen name, was known as the world's meanest crew agent. So if this is well received, maybe I'll dig out a few more, but it's not for the sensitive amongst us. I hope that people still have a sense of humour, and I hope you enjoy this one. It was written all about personal space, and it's called My Space, Your Space. So let's crack on with it, shall we? It's a proper story time, this one. I arrived at the offices early that particular balmy late summer morning because, quite frankly, that's how I roll. I like to set up early before the minions arrive, have a cup of coffee, wait for my backwards computer to cough and splutter into life, not unlike myself whilst enjoying aforementioned first cup of rocket fuel of the morning, and generally ease myself slowly into another hectic day of phones ringing incessantly, crew dropping by unexpectedly, and of course, the tackling of 1,000 overnight emails from crew and clients alike. So back to that morning in question. I'd been supping on my cafe au lait for only a mere minuscule moment before I heard a noise that made my nostrils flare and my upper lip rise up into an unpleasant and unflattering sneer. You know the sort, that one that looks like someone smeared dog shit on your top lip. The small and very much shared toilet was flushing. Someone else had infiltrated my quiet time. And worse than that, the awful realisation that this said infiltrator had been parked in said bathroom for upwards of 15 minutes. The time lapsed between me arriving, making coffee, and parking my fat office butt in my fat office butt-shaped chair to boot up my fat lazy-ass computer. The door opened. The accountant emerged. She left the door slightly ajar. She smiled and gaily said hello. I said hello back. A difficult feat, one might add, when one's upper lip is holding the dog shit sneer. Moments later, a vile rancid stench, not dissimilar to that left behind by a garbage truck which has just come fresh from the slaughterhouse route and dumped out a biffa bin full of diarrhea-ridden babies' nappies on a very hot summer's day, permeated the air and infiltrated my delicate early morning nostrils. Fighting the urge to vomit back into my coffee cup, I was sick in my mouth, but just a little bit, I got to thinking about how inconsiderate this woman was. That is, after my mind had wondered what the hell this person had eaten the day before to back out such an unholy motherload. People? Roadkill? People who've been eating roadkill? The mind boggled. Anyway, I digress. I pondered how she'd come in early to befoul our communal toilet with such an all-embracing vileness that the revolting odour would no doubt linger the entire day, taking poor, unsuspecting fellow office workers by a gag-inducing surprise when popping in to relieve themselves, not to mention stripping them of their teeth enamel, and that this would not have been the first time she'd performed such a horrific act of desanctifying our communal holy of holies. Surely she could have done that at home. Which led me to start thinking about how personal space and consideration for other people's personal space is so very important. If it's this crucially essential in a big old office, then it's downright fundamental in a small confined space, like crew accommodation on a yacht. How many crew have been lumbered with the world's most inconsiderate bunkmate for a whole season? I could elaborate on the story I heard about the two-man crew, the captain and stew cook, where the captain used to piss his own mattress every night and she had to hose it down on deck each morning, but I won't. So come on guys, how hard is it to think, blimey, I had a lot of curry last night, I'd best use the head with the porthole I can leave open to air it out a bit so my colleagues don't vomit at the sheer evilness of my depravity. Okay, so it's not just all about how bad your roomie's dump smells. There are a whole heap of other things to consider when trying to make your life and your fellow crewmates' lives more bearable. I've illustrated quite possibly the worst example because that's what happened to me the other morning. However, being crew, you must try to be considerate to your compadres in various ways and adapt previously socially unacceptable conduct to become, well, more socially acceptable. When you are working and living in such close proximity to various other people, and let's face it, often strangers, It's hard to get into a routine and to adjust to other people's foibles and little ways. I, for one, am renowned for leaving my shoes all over the place. Fine in my own apartment. If I fall over them, I have nobody to yell at. If I fall over yours, however, all hell will break loose and I will kill you. Fact. Some people are incredibly and naturally untidy, but when sharing that tiny weeny cabin with another person, you really have to rein in those bad habits. I can't help myself, I have to return to the theme of the toilet. Boys, if you're sharing a head with the ladies, stop leaving the seat up. Yes, we can put it down, that's not the issue. The issue is when we stumble into the toilet late at night, dog tired or half cut, we see the lid is up, sit down, and if the seat's also up, we fall in and get stuck. That's really not great. Really, it's not fun to be calling out for margarine to oil up one's hips to get us out of the john in the middle of the night, and it also leaves unsightly bruises. Ladies, are you with me? Snoring has to be the worst problem with sharing cabins. I know of people who have had to use earplugs in order to get their much needed shut-eye and then getting a fierce bollocking from the captain after they slept through the fire drill one morning. How do you combat that? And especially when you get tall guys sleeping in bunks built for pygmies. People get all bunched up and snoring seems inevitable. Should we put the snorers all in together? Or perhaps just put them in the engine room? But loath as I am to say it, girls do seem to be some of the worst contenders in the cabin sharing stakes though. Makeup and dirty knickers everywhere, phone chargers left on the floor, just perfect for bare feet to step on in the dark, or just plain old barging in without knocking on male cabin mates. Just because he's a guy does not mean he's happy for you to see his todger love, so please just knock and wait. It's called manners. How you all do it, I have no idea. Being a miserable old spinster with lots of cats, well, that's what everyone thinks anyway, I enjoy having my own space to breathe, be it overpriced and tiny, as are most properties on the French Riviera, but still, I like to leave my shoes / jeans / knickers, delete as applicable, on the floor / banister / dog, again, delete as applicable. So how you manage to cram your whole lives into a cabin the size of a snail's fart, I have no idea. Hats off to you all. I salute you. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'd love your feedback on it. And if you want more of that sass, I will dig out some more from the archives. Yeah, as I say, I used to write it anonymously as I was working for another company then and was just protecting my backside. But right, anyway, I hope you all have a fabulous day and I really hope that your cabin mates are more considerate than my old accountant was in that office. Love you, bye.